I mean, I would think primarily don't give up. When everything's gone wrong and the whole thing's collapsed around your feet, don't give up, because that's probably the turning point, you know. So I mean, I would think that's because I saw that time and time again that a team would start out with a brilliant plan and it was all going to go really well and they got everything worked out and they got all the bits they needed and it all went hideously wrong. I mean, everything fell apart, and you could really tell that the teams that didn't give up, whose spirits didn't falter at that time, and they were standing in the rain for the 9th hour, and they carried on, they worked out a way around it, and they thought outside the box, you know. I think it's primarily that's the main thing you can get out of it. That stuff, you know, when you start something up, it will go wrong. At some point, something will go horribly wrong, and you've got to stick with it. Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, it was a concern because it could have been awful, and we all talked about it before we did it, before we saw the scripts, and we all called each other and went, "What do you think, Bobby? Do you think we should do it?" I don't want to tell you which character that was that said that. My very bad impression. But as soon as we read the scripts, it was sort of magical for us, because it felt, oh right, I remember this. Because it had been nearly 11 years since we'd done it, so we'd kind of all moved on and done lots of other things. But immediately we got back in the studio and we had the costumes on. It was spooky how quickly we fell back into the old, rather adolescent, considering we're all in our late middle age, rather adolescent banter with each other, and, you know, so it was amazing. So I mean, it faded quickly. Right. I mean, there certainly was a concern, and I mean, some people didn't. You know, I've certainly had comments where some people said, "Oh, it wasn't like the old days; it didn't have an audience and all those things." But it was limited by the budget. We had a very limited budget to do it with, and you know, we just had to do the best we could. No, I think it is a future of television. I think it's just really starting to work, that show now, and it was done very much as an experiment, done, you know, on effectively a zero budget. I mean, the budget was my time, some petrol in the car, but not much because it's a hybrid, and you know, camera equipment that I'd kind of salvaged from various Scrapheap shoots and bits of, you know, it was all done, it was all held together with gaffer tape, the first few of them, and gradually it's kind of built up momentum. It's just had its millionth download a couple of weeks ago on iTunes, which is, I'm absolutely staggered by. I can't quite take it in even now, because it's had no PR whatsoever, absolutely no. It's had one article in Mac User magazine, about half a page, and that's it. And other than Twitter, there's nothing publicising it, and it constantly is growing. So even, you know, it is an extraordinary thing, but I don't think it won't replace TV. I think it will, you know, it's the sort of, what I think it will create is an area where you can experiment with something that you would you wouldn't even bother to try on TV. I wouldn't go to a broadcaster and say, what I want to do is drive in my car with someone really interesting and just natter. No interview, no structure, don't do any research, get lost, don't know where we are, leave the phone on so it's going on the microphones. You know, all the mistakes I made, you know, they wouldn't want to know. And now they're very interested, now they've seen it. So, you know, it's a great way of trying things out like that, but it's very specifically about the budget. You know, I would love to put something on the internet that was scripted, structured with actors. It's a really expensive thing to do, no matter the technology. You know, to get that to work and look even a quarter decent is really hard work. How to ask right?
Go on.
If I really were a robot, of course I'd be a mechanoid, not a robot.
Sorry.
Well, I think the groinal attachment is a huge breakthrough, and I think the human race should be fitted with them as well. To have a variety of implements on the end of your groinal attachment is a huge benefit. See, I'm not a big biscuit person, so it's quite hard, but I would say it has to be a Garibaldi, I think, and that's the squash fly biscuits next. I loved those when I was a kid. And I don't eat biscuits or buy biscuits now, but if there was a plate of biscuits in front of me, and some of them were Garibaldis, that's what I'd go for.
Any particular reason?
It's probably sentimental. It's probably reminding me of my grandma and my mum, and they would always have, you know, tea with a cup and saucer and a spoon, properly, and some Garibaldis.